Christmas, boys and girls, and welcome back to Santa's Toy Shop. Thank you for joining me for another night of Santa reading Christmas tales. Let's see what we have today. My magic book. Santa's magic book. Let's see what story we have. Looks like today it's going to be Wreck the Halls with Wreck-It Ralph. Penelope Vaughn Sweets, president of Sugar Rush, lay down in a drift of powdered sugar. "Ralph, what's this?" she called to her friend. Ralph was visiting from his own video game, Fix-It Felix Jr. Penelope moved her arms and legs quickly through the fluffy powder. Then she sprang her feet. "Ta-da! A sugar angel!" she exclaimed proudly. Ralph smiled weakly. "Oh, yeah," he said. "Nice one." Penelope could tell something was bothering Ralph. "Hey, shouldn't you be Mr. Holly Jolly? It's only a few days until Christmas. Your first real Christmas." Christmas time was usually pretty lonely for video game bad boy guys like Ralph. But ever since Ralph had saved his game from being unplugged, the Nicelanders had realized what a good guy their bad guy was. This year, for the first time ever, they had invited Ralph to their holiday party. "It was great to see the Nicelanders party," Ralph told Penelope. "But you know what? The whole time I was there, I couldn't stop thinking about the bad guys in all the other games. Their Christmases must be as lonely as ever." Ralph remembered that Christmas is spent alone on his brick pile at the dump. "Bad guys deserve real Christmas too," Ralph added. Penelope tilted her head to one side, then nodded. "You're right," she said, "and we could give it to them." She remembered how it had felt to be left out by the other racers in her own game. "Let's throw the bad guys a Christmas party with presents and a tree, the whole 9 yards. Ralph's face lit up. "That's a perfect idea," he cried. He hopped up in excitement, then landed with a boom. The ground shook and a towering sugar drift toppled over, burying Penelope. "Oops, sorry," said Ralph, digging her out. Ralph called a special meeting of the Bad Anon support group. "Every year, we bad guys get stuck on the outside of Christmas looking in. Well, this year, everything is going to be different," Ralph told them. "All about how wonderful Christmas could be with decorations, presents, songs, and parties." Everyone got really excited. Ralph's Christmas sounded like so much fun. "I want everyone to meet here in the support group room for Christmas Eve," Ralph said. "And get ready for the merriest Christmas ever." Then Ralph and Penelope got busy making a special gift for each bad guy. They planned something for everyone, including a new fireproof cape for Satan, 8 cozy mittens for Cycloptolus, and a jar of extra sticky taffy for Zombie, who was always looking for something to help reattach his arms. "And now for the tree," Penelope declared. "It just isn't Christmas without a candy-covered tree." They found a perfect lollipop tree in Lolly Sticks Forest and cut it down. Then they strung it with popcorn, garlands, and hung candy canes from its branches. A glistened rock candy star twinkled atop. "Not bad," Penelope said, stepping back to admire it. Ralph agreed. It didn't exactly look like the Nicelanders' Christmas tree, but he knew the bad guys would love it. The presents were ready, the tree was ready, but with just one day left until Christmas Eve, Ralph was worried about something. "How are we going to carry all this to the support group room?" Penelope wrinkled her nose as she thought it over. Then her eyes widened. "The same way Santa does it," she replied. "In a sleigh." Penelope dragged Ralph across Sugar Rush to the Cart Bakery. There they could use all the sugar, frosting, and candy they needed to create the perfect Christmas cart. Has anyone ever made a sleigh here before? Ralph asked. I doubt it, Penelope said as she fiddled with the controls. But there's a first time for everything. Gears turned, belts rolled, mixers mixed, and frosting squirted. Within minutes, the gleaming vehicle slid out the finisher and came to rest at Ralph's feet. One rocket-powered candy sleigh ready to go, Penelope declared. On Christmas Eve, the two friends met up to bring Christmas to the bad guys. Penelope came dressed up and ready to play elf. I didn't have a hat in size freakishly large, so I made you this. She tossed Ralph an empty sugar sack tied with a red bow on the side. Thanks, Ralph said, putting it on. Then he squeezed behind the wheel of the rocket-powered sleigh. Can I drive? How about I get us off the ground, Penelope replied. She shooed Ralph into the passenger seat. You can turn on the rockets once we get going. Penelope revved the engines, and they were off. Soon they were flying smoothly towards the game exit. Okay, let's get this thing moving, Ralph called out. Reaching for the left and the right rocket switches, he flipped them both, but his powerful grip snapped one of the tiny rocket snitches like a toothpick. Only one rocket turned on, and the sleigh spun out of control. Penelope tried to regain control of the runway sleigh. First they zoomed left, then they zipped right. But no matter what Penelope did, it was no use. The rocket spiraled lower and lower until, gloop, it came into a lurching in the middle of the Great Carmel Lake. Ralph and Penelope managed to swim to shore, but the sleigh and all the presents were ruined. Ralph watched sadly as everything they had worked on sank beneath the Carmel Lake. Oh no, he moaned. Empty-handed and covered in caramel, Ralph and Penelope made their way to the support group room. Ralph hesitated outside the door. What are we going to tell the guys? I've wrecked Christmas. For once, Penelope didn't have a snappy comeback. She knew the crash had been an accident, but she was still sad they wouldn't be able to have a Christmas party. Time to face the music, big guy, she said, shaking her head. But when they opened the door, the friends' jaws dropped. The room was completely decked out, and the party was well underway. The bad guys greeted them with a big cheer. Where did you get all this? Ralph asked. We spent the last few days getting everything ready, Sorceress said. Yeah, you got us all excited in the Christmas spirit, 18 said. But Penelope and I made presents and trimmed a tree. We even made a sleigh, but I wrecked it. I wrecked everything. Don't be silly, Ralph, said Satine. You're the reason we're here, spending the holiday together. The other bad guys nodded in agreement. That's a pretty great gift. Penelope punched Ralph gently on the arm. Yeah, don't be silly, Ralph, she said. Or should I say, Mr. Holly Jolly? A wide smile spread across Ralph's face. That's me, he exclaimed. Merry Christmas, everyone! As they all celebrated late into the night. It was truly the merriest Christmas any of them had ever had. Ho, ho, ho! Who enjoyed the tale from WreckItRalph? Well, thank you for joining Santa at Santa's Toy Shop for story time. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.